Gentlemen, welcome back. It's me, Jim Kincaid, and we have the GBD H2000 on my 12-year-old son's wrist, which is 6.5 inches around. And you can kind of look down the barrel, you see how those wings are taking up all the space in the corner. So for, you know, a 6.5 inch wrist, which I think could be classified as a smaller wrister, it fits. Phil, does it fit well?
Yeah.
Is it comfortable?
Yeah.
The only negative thing I could say is that you get a lot of bands sticking out. So if your wrist is smaller than 6.5 inches, you might have a lot of this band sticking out.
Where are you going, Mommy?
All right, Phil, thank you. This is Phil's regular watch, GW 5610. Go ahead, Phil, you can take it. All right, we're going to continue discussing the GBD H2000. And last video, I was discussing how the wings are integrated into the band, which is a genius level move on the part of Casio engineers. And we're going to continue this discussion on the band, which I think is great. It is a very long band. So a lot of bands are too short. And on a fitness watch, you really need a long band because you're gonna want to push it further up on your wrist so you can have enough articulation for working out. Wearing a watch closer to your hand is going to get in the way if you're lifting weights. All right, Donald's over here playing with this flashlight. Donald. All right, don't put the flashlight on here, okay? Can you put the flashlight back? It's daytime. We don't need a flashlight. The only downside to being a small wrister is that the actual watch body is very thick. It's three-quarters of an inch thick. Okay, it's thicker even than this, the GWX56BB. But the tapering at the sides make it wear much better than the walls of this gigantic square. So despite being 3/4 of an inch, it wears well. But you know, you will feel it a lot more its size if you're a small wrister. But there's a reason for that size, and it has to do with the heart rate monitor and the ABC sensors and the G-Shock level of protection. Now, some other amazing design features I think that you guys would be interested in has to do with sweat management. Okay, so in a watch like this one, the band is hard rubber, and even with all of these holes, it's still stifling. I found this band to be amazing in terms of sweat management because you have holes on the this side and on the clasp side of the band, which allows for more ventilation. And look at this innovation here, where you have all this organic pattern on the underside. These rivulets allow water to move underneath the band and escape towards the holes, and also allows air to get under. So as a fitness watch, that's great. You're going to be sweating. I sweat a lot while I'm working out, and like I'm sweating right now. I just got some sweat off my forehead and put it on it was still on my fingers when I touched the watch band. So you can see firsthand the sweat just evaporating by entering into these channels that are on the band. So you have this like mechanical shape to the watch, but then these organic accents, and this is a functional organic accent, these channels, sweat channels, and it's carried over on the buttons. The buttons don't have the waffle pattern like on other G-Shocks. You see the buttons have that diamond plated pattern. On the GBD H2000, it's organic, which matches these channels. So, grip on the buttons, it's not as grippy as a waffle pattern. It doesn't catch your fingernail or the flesh on your finger. So your finger can slip on it, but the buttons are really great to press. Really easy. Not so easy that you'd accidentally press them, but what I'm saying is that even though you have this organic accent on the buttons, it doesn't interfere with their pressability. So another great design feature, which I give this watch 5 stars, rounding up, you know, I actually gave it like 4.2 stars. So I gave it 4 stars and then 1 point on a star, so 1/5 of a star. But I rounded up just because I love the physical design of this watch. This case back is smooth, okay? So in keeping with the whole smartwatch design, this allows the sweat to move away from the inside of this watch. Air can get under this watch and the sweat can evaporate, okay? So when it's on your wrist, it's like a pillow. It's a pillow-like design. It rests very comfortably, and it's anchored in place again by the wings, but also having the wing have this ramp on the watch allows the watch to stay in place on your wrist really well. It doesn't slide around, and all the squares slide around in them. You know, the classic square especially. I'll make another video kind of critiquing that square design, but the watch moves on your wrist, and you're constantly having to, like, you know, get it centered on your wrist again. Not so with this watch. This watch stays in place, and I think it has a lot to do with these ramps that are part of the wings being on the body of the watch, and the watch itself having this chamfered smooth edge, polished stone look, allows it to sit like a pillow on your wrist. And so you can really crank down on the band and get it nice and tight, but it never feels uncomfortable. And that allows you to get a good reading for your heart rate monitor. And just one more thing I want to say about the band, and I'll talk more about this watch in an upcoming video, because there's a lot to say about it. But I just want to mention how the band straddles one large lug, as opposed to other watches where you can see that the lugs straddle the band. On this watch, the band straddles the lug. This is like makes it much more stable. There's much more stability on your wrist, given this design feature. And it's like the anchoring points of the band are wider on the watch. Like if you look at a classic square, like I mentioned in the last video, the lug to lug inside of here is very narrow, okay? But that makes the anchoring points close to the center of the watch, which still allows it to tip and to move, okay? But on this innovative design, having the watch band out way wider, it's like stakes on a tent. It's like tent posts. It anchors it down further towards the corner of the watch, so there's very little movement as you're working out. Okay, this type of design should be on even more watches. This is an amazing design. Casio needs to keep on going with this design where the band straddles one large lug. It anchors the watch down really well, okay? So with the wings and the wide anchoring points on the band, this is a very stable watch. I find it does not slide around your wrist very much, and it's very comfortable to wear. It's light despite being big, and the sweat management is terrific. You don't get watch fatigue, okay? With the squares, I get watch fatigue. At the end of the day, I want to take this off, right? This one, you could wear it to bed, which is really important if you're using the sleep monitoring feature in the software, okay? So gentlemen, that's some of the points that I have to say about the amazing design features in the GBDH 2000. There's more to say. You dadgum right, I'll be making more videos about things I like on this watch. The physical design is amazing. These physical design features Casio should carry over to other G-Shocks. The software is subpar. I have a lot of problems with the software. I'll make an upcoming rant video where I'll go on about the problems, okay? You know, you can count on me to make a rant video, all right? But I want to thank all you gentlemen for watching. My name is Jim Kincaid.